Well, welcome to Amy Loses It, and I'm here to celebrate today losing 70 pounds. So, I'm going to tell you where I started, how I've done along the way, and where I am today, and what it's going to be like going forward in the future. And yeah, I kind of maybe did it the easy way by not having a crazy workout routine. I never once tried to jog a mile. I never got up at 5 a.m. and spent 3 hours in the gym. I certainly didn't try and run a marathon. Not that there's anything wrong with working out, but that was just not how I lost my 70 pounds. Honestly, I just focused on my nutrition and I got help from tirzepatide, which is also known as Zepbound. And I was prescribed that because I don't have type 2 diabetes. Now, I'm going to tell you that I wouldn't be where I am today without the medication because it's used to treat the disease of obesity, which I actually have a pretty decent case of. I would say my severity, I would probably rate it like maybe an 8 out of 10. So I was really, really struggling with a whole bunch of symptoms related to the disease that were then causing even more problems because I had all this excess weight on my body that I just couldn't get off and it was ruining my health. So let's talk about like where I started. I started this journey on January 1st of 2025. I was just about to turn 51 years old and I was feeling all kinds of sorry for myself. I was just lying around waiting for that white knight in shining armor to show up. I was waiting for an easy button. I was waiting for something to miraculously fix my life and make things okay. I I was just sitting around having the world's biggest pity party, but then I realized that there were so many people out in this world out there living the life that I wanted, and nobody was going to come and save me. And I had to get up off of my butt and figure it out. So I started restricting my calories and I started losing a little bit of weight. But it was a huge struggle because I had food noise like you wouldn't believe. All I thought about 24/7 was food. And when I restricted my calories, it just made it even worse because then I was constantly hungry. I constantly felt like I wasn't satiated after eating. And my whole world revolved around the thoughts of food in my brain. And that's why I say, like, I kind of had a pretty severe case because I couldn't get any relief no matter what. And it was actually absolutely torture to eat in a calorie deficit to lose weight. Now, I didn't really do that spectacular the first 7 weeks of my journey, but when I was a couple of weeks in and I had actually gained back pretty much everything that I'd lost the first couple of weeks, I decided that I really needed help and that one of my friends was taking Zepbound and she talked to me about it, how it quieted the noise in her head and the thoughts of food. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, oh, well, I don't think about food anymore at all. And I can actually just eat when I'm actually truly hungry, and sometimes I'm not even that hungry. I have to make sure that I eat. And I'm like, "Oh, wow. Like that really happens? Like people don't think about food all of the time." I thought this was normal because right when you live a certain way and you don't know that other people don't experience this. So in mid-February, I managed to sign up for Mochi and I received my first medication. I did use compounding to start with, and I took my first shot on February 15th of 2025. Now, I didn't do all that great on the lowest dosage, but as time went along, I just slowly and steadily started losing weight. Now, I have had some stalls along the way. Recently, I did have a 12-week stall that made me pretty much almost lose my mind. I kind of had to step back for a minute and stop counting my calories because all I could think about was food when I was counting my calories because I am trying to eat in a calorie deficit, but it can be a struggle because then again, I'm replacing the food noise with being a hall monitor on everything I put in my mouth. And while not everybody needs to count their calories and eat in a calorie deficit to lose weight while they're taking Zepbound, I'm one of those people that I feel that I need to monitor my food very, very closely. Now, honestly, I don't really have any proof that me monitoring my calories really leads to more weight loss, because after I talked to Dr. Anya Yasterbach, who actually led the trials for tirzepatide with Eli Lilly, she said that really the medication determines the number on the scale. So, and that's called a set point. Kind of each dosage of medication kind of sets your body at a set point, meaning that if I was taking one particular dose and it told my body, hey, Amy needs to weigh 200 pounds, then I'm going to slowly start losing weight down to that 200 pounds. But then when I hit that point, then I'm going to stall. So if I continue on that dosage of medication, say for the next 5, 6, 10 weeks, then I'm going to stay at that set point. And if I go up in dosage and then that dosage says, oh, well, Amy needs to be at 175 pounds, then I'm going to slowly start losing weight back down to that set point that the medication has set for me. Because truly, with the disease of obesity, what has happened is our set point, our fat storage point, the point where our body determines our weight by how much fat we are storing, gets broken. And so the medication is then trying to fix that kind of a thermometer in our body by correcting that, by telling our body, hey, Amy doesn't need to weigh that 304 pounds that you're telling her that it needs to weigh, and that you're driving her to eat to make sure that she stays at that weight or maybe even weighs more. Then we will start losing weight. We will lose our inappropriate hunger signals. We will start feeling satiated after we eat. Our food noise will start going away because we're no longer having this insatiable drive to keep filling up our fat stores on our body. So it's all an absolutely fascinating process. And sorry to just throw a whole bunch of scientific talk in there, but I love talking about this stuff. But I wanted to share a whole bunch of photos with you. I kind of wanted to start from the very beginning. And I'm actually going to show some photos of me starting out in May of 2022. Now, this was my trip to Switzerland, and I was actually extremely disappointed with myself because I was at 240 pounds, and I wanted to lose 40 pounds before I went on that trip. But the more that I tried to diet, the more I tried to reduce my calories, the more it drove my hunger, which is actually scientifically proven that the more that you restrict your calories, the higher calorie intake your body is going to crave. It's going to be over and above what you need to maintain the weight that you are. So if you then pile on the disease of obesity, where I've got the extreme food noise, the inappropriate hunger, I can't be satiated with the food, can't be satisfied when I'm eating food. And then my set point regulation is all out of whack, and it's telling my body I need to really be storing more fat on my body than I already weigh. It was just kind of like a perfect storm. So within the next couple of months before I ended up getting to Switzerland, I ended up at 275 pounds. So instead of losing weight, I gained 35 pounds, and I was incredibly frustrated because I was doing all the things at that time. I was working out, and I was getting my water in and my sleep in, and I was eating in a calorie deficit, and everything just kind of blew up. And I kind of went into pretty good depression. I had a lot of kind of tragic family events happen and pet events, and it just was all downhill from there. And then the next photo you're going to see here is October 31st of 2023. And this was at my highest weight. And honestly, this photo, I know it's a terrible photo, but you can really see how much weight I carry in my stomach. It's not quite as obvious, but if you look at the Switzerland one, you can see how much I carry in my right lower belly. But honestly, October of 2023, I felt so freaking miserable. It kind of really was like me hitting rock bottom. I didn't know yet that I was allergic to corn syrup, and I had been having soda that weekend, and I was so swollen, and I hurt. Everything hurt from head to toe. And on top of that, I was hanging out with family, and I was so embarrassed of my weight because it was my highest weight ever. And they gave me grief on the plane about wearing a seatbelt extender, or I had brought my own and I got scolded by the American Airlines flight attendant, and whole nine yards. Like it was just not a pleasant experience. Uh, yeah. And then, so the next photo on the right is my most recent photo. And you can see that after losing 70 pounds down to 234 pounds, how much volume I have actually lost, not only in my face, but in my stomach. It's really incredible to me that you see that much of a change. Now, I'm going to do also my progress photos. I have this blue dress that I wore on a cruise after I had taken my first Zepbound shot. So by that point, I was 45 days into my weight loss journey, and I had only lost 4 pounds at that point because I'd put a good amount of weight back on. But I was posing in front of the sign in St. Kitts in the Caribbean, and honestly, y'all, I was so miserable. I was in a minivan with a whole bunch of other people, and I was so squished. I only got like a quarter of my butt cheek on the seat. They didn't take into account that I was a plus size traveler, and they just didn't. The whole thing was just not appropriate. They should have let me go in another van, but they wanted to fill warm bodies, and I was the only solo traveler, so they smashed me into a van that I shouldn't have been in. So let me show you that photo. So all the way on the left, you can see there, February 23rd of 2025. I'm wearing my famous blue dress that I like to take my progress photos in. And then you can see to the right of that where I have lost a total of 24 pounds. You can still see my face is like really full, but I have lost a decent bit of my belly at that point. And then, yes, many, many months later, so that would be 11 months. It really, honestly, it took me a long time to lose the weight in the middle. So to lose the additional 36 pounds, it really did take me from July of 2025 all the way to the beginning of April of 2026. My journey has not been smooth. As far as like, would I say it's easy? I would say it's the easiest weight loss journey I've ever done because I don't have the food noise. Now, if you notice in my photo where I'm 244 pounds, you can see my face is really starting to slim down. Definitely losing some volume in the arms. Honestly, in this photo, it doesn't look like my stomach is that much different, but I definitely was getting into smaller size clothing. But if you just look at that 10 pounds difference from 244 to 234, and yes, oh my gosh, it really did take me till August to lose just 10 freaking pounds. But you can see like the huge difference in my face. You can see the huge difference in the breast area of the dress. You can see how much volume I've lost in my stomach. I don't know what it is, but kind of that 10-pound difference, like how much my body has shrunk. So I've really gone from a 5X all the way down to a 2X. So all the new dresses that I have purchased and all the t-shirts and pants that I have bought have been in a 2X. And I could barely get on a 4X. And honestly, like I was really to the point that I needed to put on a 5X when I was at 304 pounds. Oh, and here's a great photo. This is my first photo that I took in my blue dress. And this is my most recent photo at 70 pounds down in the blue dress. And it is amazing the difference you can see, especially in my face. That I pulled my hair up just to make sure that you could really get a good look at how much I've lost volume in my face and around my neck. It's absolutely crazy. I've lost so much volume in my stomach. I believe I was down almost 10 inches around. So I used like a little cloth measuring tape. And when I first started, the 60-inch measuring tape didn't fit all the way around me. So I was bigger around than I was tall because I'm only 60 inches tall. I'm only 5 foot tall. So, I mean, absolutely incredible. Now, losing weight has not been the only benefit of this weight loss journey. I've had lots of other things, such as non-scale victories. Now, that has been no longer having to use a seatbelt extender on a plane. That's actually one of my biggest ones. Being able to shower comfortably. I do have a back injury, which makes things more complicated, but now I can reach all my bits with absolutely no problem. Being able to bend over and dry off my feet, being able to shave my legs with no problem, being able to paint my toenails, being able to put a regular bra on and off with absolutely no problem. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, those aren't things that I would really think about, or like, why are those non scale victories? Because at 340 pounds, I had lost the ability to do a lot of those things. I was really, really struggling. And not to mention that I was getting to the point that I couldn't even buy a bra in the store. And honestly, I could barely even buy one online because I was getting to the point where I needed a 50. Now I've gone down to a size 42 band, which is fantastic because now I can just buy a bra pretty much anywhere. Most companies, most stores carry a 42. It has been really fabulous. Like the things that I have accomplished, going to the doctors and being able to get up on the exam table without nearly falling off or breaking something. Actually looking forward to parking as far away as possible in a parking lot, not absolutely dreading getting out and having to walk anywhere. Actually being able to walk a couple of flights of stairs with not out feeling like I'm going to die. I being able to go to the mall and walk from one end to the other to get my favorite sweet treat with no problem at all. Being able to go on a 7-night cruise to Europe and being able to carry all of my own luggage and being able to traverse the city of Rome all by myself. Now, I certainly wouldn't have had the stamina or ability to do that prior to losing 70 pounds. Now, looking forward, I still have a long way to go. I have 110 pounds left, and honestly, the waiting, the week over week of little tiny increments of weight loss can be absolutely maddening. It really does kind of drive you crazy. You need a lot of patience to be able to get through a weight loss journey like this. That's kind of why I named my channel Amy Loses It, because I have a feeling that I'll probably lose my mind a couple more times along this journey. I have in the past over the whole 12-week stall of weight loss. So I'm sure there's more really hard times to come. I'm sure there's going to be more really easy times to come. So I just have to like keep at it. Now, when I look forward, and if we're estimating that I'm going to be losing maybe a pound a week, then that's 110 weeks. That's more than 2 years from now that I still have to lose weight. So that is well into 2028. And oh my goodness, I would have never thought that it would have taken me this long to lose all the weight that I need to get off of my body. Now, my goal eventually is to try and get about 124 pounds. That would bring me down to exactly 180 pounds lost. Now, that is the highest weight on the chart that would put me in the normal weight range. So I'm really trying to get out of overweight and obese and just live in a normal weight range. I haven't been in a normal weight range since I was probably 18 years old. I started putting on a little bit of weight in my senior year of high school when I got a boyfriend that then became my husband that started feeding me. And because I wasn't used to eating very much at all, and my hunger really kicked in and said I needed to be at a much higher set point than what my body currently was, then everything I ate just turned into fat on my body and just never left. And it just kept on for 30 plus years from there. So I have a long road ahead of me, but I'm hoping that you'll be there with me. Now, if you enjoy live streams, I do go live every Thursday at 6 p.m. where we chat about my weight loss. I usually do my weigh-in live on Thursdays, and then I also usually pick a really good topic surrounding weight loss, tirzepatide, other weight loss medications, health, wellness, all of that good stuff, and just chat with probably about 100 of my closest YouTube friends. So if you're interested in that, make sure you stop on by. So I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me today and celebrating my 70 pounds down. If you're considering taking a weight loss medication, don't. hesitate because just take the shot. Honestly, the biggest thing I regret in this whole journey is that I didn't start sooner. I'd really been kicking around the idea of starting the medication a year before I did, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I kind of chickened out. And I believe the hype that this medication is probably bad for us and is going to cause all kinds of side effects. But you know what? I rarely ever have the side effect at all. So if you're considering a weight loss medication, make sure that you talk to your medical provider and follow their advice. Now, if you know that you really want to take the medication and your doctor says no, try another doctor. And I'm not saying this because I want you to go against medical advice, but there are a lot of medical professionals out there that are not properly trained on GLP-1 medications. So make sure that you have the right physician for you in order to help you with your weight loss journey. So thank you for stopping in today, where I'm Amy, and this is Amy Loses It, where I'm on a journey to lose 180 pounds, 70 pounds down, 110 left to go. And I hope to see you Thursday. So have a fabulous day, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Four cats, one scale, and a suitcase to pack. Zepbound in hand, there's no looking back. Cruising through this journey, non-scale victories divine. But can Amy lose the weight without losing her mind?